The creative economy in Kyrgyzstan has been a hot topic since 2017. Shifting towards an innovative state of the economy is an essential goal for the government. But before going through what laws and bylaws the Kyrgyz Republic adopts to implement a creative economy, let's take a look at what is the creative economy and where it drew its definition. In 2001, John Hawkins, a member of the UN Creative Economy Advisory Board, first used the term creative economy to characterize economic systems in which value is derived from originality and creativity rather than traditional resources such as land, labor, and money. People's use of creative imagination to increase the value of an idea is the main element of the creative economy. Unlike creative industries, which are constrained by specific industries, the term creative economy refers to the economy's overall ingenuity. The creative economy contributes just over 6.1% to global gross domestic product, averaging between 2% and 7% of national GDPs around the world. According to UN estimates, the creative economy industries generate annual revenues of $2.25 trillion and account for 30 million jobs worldwide. In 2017, Kyrgyzstan first discussed the term creative economy. It all began with the British Council's Financial Assistance for Cultural and Creative Industries Forums, called Creative Central Asia. As a result of these activities, a group of like-minded individuals formed the Creative Central Asia Network in 2021. CCAN has created a roadmap for all countries to use in developing common creative industries market regulations. The main point of the recommendations was that members of relevant authorities should concentrate on the characteristics of national economies rather than those of foreign countries whose experiences they intend to imitate. Experts have advised the countries to band together, learn to trust one another and collaborate on regional projects in a highly competitive climate. With the help of international funders, representatives from the Ministry of Economy, experts, and the business community produced the first idea of creative economy development for 2021 to 2023, which was submitted to the Kyrgyz Republic's presidential administration in May 2021. The plan for Kyrgyzstan's creative economy development from 2021 to 2023 was based on the British experience. The list of 12 creative sectors in the country has been chosen by project developers. According to the analysis, Kyrgyzstan's advertising business is mostly developed. In this arena, it encompasses the actions of advertising agencies and media outlets. Publishers of books, newspapers, magazines, and periodicals are in the second position. The people of art are the last of the top three. Bishkek leads the development of creative industries in Kyrgyzstan's regions. Here, 48.89% of the total number of registered companies conduct business. 798 companies out of 938 registered enterprises have a direct or indirect relationship with the creative industry. However, the private sector is represented by 513 people. According to the project authors, the private sector dominates in locations with better established infrastructure, technology, and consistently high economic activity, whereas state participation dominates in less developed regions. Women account for almost 41.01% of all workers in the creative industries industry. The majority of women are employed in the sector of art, entertainment, and leisure, 50%, and the least in the sector of professional, research, and technical activity, 35%. In addition to the new concept, a new draft law for the development of a creative industries park is being drafted. It was made public during the opening ceremony of Kyrgyzstan's first state innovation center when one of the authors delivered the new paper. The initiators, industry leaders, government officials, and specialists propose using a successful model of a domestic high-tech park, which increases at a rate of about 50% each year. According to Valery Grishin, a famous business coach, only one employee makes $20,000 per year. This value is equivalent to the mining industry's metrics. To scoop out the main characteristics of creative economy in Kyrgyzstan, our group organized an exclusive interview with Doniyor, the chairman of the supervisory board of the Association of Creative Industries. In this interview, we covered three main questions. What is a creative economy, and how can it assist the Kyrgyz economy? How does Kyrgyzstan adopt laws and develop bylaws in the creative economy, which is the research question of our project? And what is the role of the government in helping to shift and transit to a more innovative and creative economy?
what is a creative economy and how can it assist the Kyrgyz economy? So basically, nowadays we understand that every country's economy structure consists of 4 different pieces of different types of economy. The first type is agriculture, and this is historically the first economy that appeared, and it appeared 12,000 years ago, and we still grow the same things we were growing 12,000. We learned to grow 12,000 years ago, and 12,000 years ago, almost 100% of population of Homo sapiens were involved in agriculture. Then some part of this Homo sapiens moved to industrial production, where they were producing means of production, which means they were producing wheels, they were producing whatever people needed at that time. And when you work in a production field, you have 50 times higher productivity than agriculture. That's why, of course, many people move to production from agriculture. Then, especially in the 20th century, a lot of people moved to service, which is the third piece of this economy. And service has much higher ROI, because definitely you need much less investment to start a service company. If you go to education, if you go into trade, you everywhere spend much less money to start your business. Then nowadays we see that there is this new 4th part of economy, which is creative economy. And creative economy is the part of economy where the product, basically the very, very big part of this of the profit, I would say more than half of the profit that comes from this product is coming due to the one person's fantasy, creativity. And to give an example, it's a painting. Painting, definitely, a painting of a big artist costs 1,000 times maybe more than the paint he used to produce this painting, to draw this painting. So in creative economy, you sometimes see products that are million times worth the cost of their production. If you look into NFT market, for example, you sometimes can see that a very, very primitive picture can cost $100,000, $500,000. It happens everywhere with NFTs. And a person with the mindset of agriculture economy, of course, cannot understand how can anyone pay such huge money for this strange picture. Then the world we live in now is the world where countries are divided. The developed countries are running away, and developing countries are much slower, developing much slower. Kyrgyzstan is now one of the poorest countries in the world, and the reason for that is in the structure of economy. In our case, agriculture is the main part of economy. Some people go to production, for example, textile. Much less people work in service, and very, very few people work in the creative economy. And that explains you why we are one of the poorest countries in the world, and why US is one of the richest countries of the world, because, for example, in the United States, you have much less people, much smaller portion of people working in agriculture, a little bit bigger portion of people compared to agriculture work in the industrial production, much more people work in service, and much more people than in Kyrgyzstan work in creative economy. Hollywood is famous for more than 100 years, and the Silicon Valley definitely is the mecca of creative economy for the world, for the whole world. So it is time for us to decide what future we want for our country. If we want our country to be prosperous, if we want our country to become developed one day, then definitely we need to restructure our economy to move more people from agriculture to creative economy. How does Kyrgyzstan adopt laws and develop bylaws in the creative economy? Kyrgyzstan has never done that. At the moment, we are trying to lobby a new law on Creative Industries Park, which would change the landscape. 10 years ago, this country adopted a law on high-tech park, which is a special tax regime for IT companies. This is great, it worked well. We see that the residents of high-tech park grow in average 50% every year. Last year they grew 80%. Before that, in the pandemic year of 2020, they still grew 20%. Now we hope that if the government introduces the same kind of tax regime for all creative industries, then the same growth, the same speed of growth will happen in the creative industries. And we really push hard with this law. We created this Association of Creative Industries. We created a draft law of Creative Industries Park. We created a draft law on the changes in the tax code and social fund tariffs, which will be crucial in the cornerstone of these reforms. If this happens, then I think we will become one of the best places to do work in creative economy, one of the best places in the world. And I expect not only our citizens, but a lot of digital nomads to arrive and do business from Kyrgyzstan, because it just makes economic sense. So now we are in a very crucial year. I think until the end of the year we will know for sure if we have this law and what exactly is included into the tax code. What is the role of government in helping to shift and transit to a more innovative and creative economy? Now, it depends on how this government sees its role. We are in close contact. This Monday, for example, I had a very long 3-hour meeting, very informal meeting in one of our co-working spaces with the Vice Prime Minister Torabayev, for example. Before that, I had a very long meeting with the head of the Department on Strategic Developments of the Administration of President, Almaz Isanov. He is also a big supporter. I had meetings with the people in the Ministry of Economy, had people in the ministries, in the Ministry of Culture, and we see that there is a lot of will on the government side to create these conditions, but at the same time we are telling them, please don't go too deep, don't try to create a public company, Kyrgyz creative or something like that, as the government sometimes does, because we see it in tourism, for example. I don't think it would be good if the government tries to involve into creative economy itself, become one of the players, start doing something. No, instead of that, we ask the government to just play a role in building the ecosystem for creative economy, and the crucial first step is to create this Creative Industries Park. Then there are a lot of other steps that we are planning, but we want to move step by step. If we tell the government and if we ask too much from the government right now, then I'm sure we'll not get anything. Step by step, Creative Industries Park, and then next steps towards digital nomadism, towards promoting creative economy outside of the country, towards building understanding and trust between the government and creative economy, helping the creative economy get reach to the finance, because definitely today if you're a creative entrepreneur, the banks don't consider you, they don't want to provide you credits and other services. So all that will be shifted, and I'm sure we will have a great creative economy country.
Kyrgyzstan is considered a relatively developed country in several sectors. The development in this country, especially in the capital city, Bishkek, has been tremendous in recent years. The idea of mobilizing the country and reaching the Smart City Plan is at the utmost attention of the government and foreign and domestic investors. The distribution of income is almost equal among the citizens. The progress of democracy is predominant over the years. Despite the late developments in Kyrgyzstan, this country has been struggling with many challenges. Challenges that enervate the entrepreneurial, innovative, and merit-based economy. These challenges include, but are not limited to, unfavorable investment climate, low level of innovation and technology, unskilled and uneducated labor force, poor decision-making in terms of natural resources, and lack of necessary and legal frameworks and policies to speed up industrial growth. Industrial development of Kyrgyzstan, page 6. The lack of government policies to control and eradicate these obstacles further weakens the process of shifting to a creative economy in this country. There are several measures that the government can take to improve the innovative state of the economy. First, improving the quality of governance is essential. Unfortunately, mismanagement and corruption in governmental sectors have exacerbated the process. Placing the government at the center of decision-making would be necessary to fight corruption. Secondly, the government should enhance regional and global economic integration and export opportunities. This is solely possible if Kyrgyzstan forms free trade areas or customs unions with other nations, offering members preferential trade access to each other's markets. In addition, securing access to financing and boosting investment would create a vast horizon of opportunities for the young generation to promote their creative business ideas. Supporting small businesses and subsidizing crucial corporations, such as tourism, agriculture, and infrastructure, is the key to reaching the creative economy in Kyrgyzstan. Finally, fostering the development of key strategic sectors such as electricity, light industry, machinery, construction, and information technology should be the pinnacle step towards developing Kyrgyzstan.